Big crime raid going on. We got to talk about, wow, Pam Bondi coming out with big news that they're taking down a cartel in New Mexico. And this was a multi-government operation with state, local, and feds all in on it. Great news. New Mexico takedown of one of the biggest cartels that was trafficking in all kinds of stuff. Let's listen into Pam moments ago.
This multi-agency operation led by DEA with our local, state, tribal, and federal partners targeted one of the largest and most dangerous drug trafficking and foreign terrorist organizations in our country. The DEA seized 11.5 kilos of fentanyl, including an astounding approximately 3 million fentanyl pills, the largest seizure in our nation's history. These are the pills in the bags right there. The main bottom right, the head of this organization, Sinaloa organization, here in the country illegally, 6 of these guys and women here in the country illegally. His name is Alberto Salazar Amaya. He is the leader, and he was living in Salem, Oregon. With him, they got millions of dollars, cash, cars, but the drugs were in Albuquerque, Phoenix, and Utah. That's how insulated these drug dealer cartel leaders make themselves.
Wow. And I wonder how many of them are here legally versus illegally. Just saying. This is one of the big topics, right, that keeps coming up. So now that we're doing all this to actually enforce the law, imagine that. What do you do with all the criminals that you got here? I mean, that's a big concern right now. I mean, Donald Trump was trying to export them to El Salvador. That has been a sticking point, of course, for the left. I mean, they're practically camped out, right? Or were camped out in El Salvador. Something we're not hearing about Mr. Garcia anymore. I wonder why. More to come on that one. But he's saying, okay, so we need some place to put the worst possible criminals. Over the weekend, he started talking about, what do you know, Alcatraz. You guys know Alcatraz, right? Home of former major, massive criminal Al Capone out there in San Francisco land. So maybe you get that thing back up and running, huh? Pam Bondi certainly likes the idea.
The president suggested over the weekend maybe rebuild and reopen Alcatraz, put him there in the middle of the Pacific Ocean someplace.
I'm all for that. All for that, and I think it will be a cost savings. We'll have specially trained guards. They'll be in isolation. They won't be able to run their businesses, and it sends a very strong message that if you do this, you are going to be out of our society forever.
Huh. So part of this might be a little bit of marketing, right? A really scary prison. Alcatraz obviously conjures up certain images. I think there's an Escape from Alcatraz movie, that kind of thing. Scott Jennings was on CNN just last night, and, you know, he's become kind of a household name. If anybody watches CNN, you're going to be watching it for Scott Jennings because he's like the only person that will fight back against their panel of liberals. God bless him, right? God bless him. You could not pay me any kind of amount of money to go on and deal with the liberals on some of these networks. I mean, it's painful, but he does a really good job at it. He's talking about Alcatraz here. And why wouldn't we have it, right? Why wouldn't you have a place to put people? We are already short on prison space. Why not? Oh, they didn't like it. Take a listen.
This is the era of DOJ. The idea of reopening a prison that's been closed for many, many decades because it just doesn't make sense to house people there. Why?
Well, does it? I don't know. He said he was going to study it. I mean, we have a prison overcrowding problem. You've been fussing about recently him sending American criminals overseas to their prisons. Don't we need more prisons in the United States? What's wrong with it?
Okay. Well,
I mean, what's the matter?
All right, let's take it at face value. Why Alcatraz? It costs 3 times as much to put prisoners there than
How do
to
you
put
know?
them. You could go put them in the
You're
desert.
on an actuarial study on it over the
Okay,
weekend?
all right. Let me.
I mean, we don't know.
All right, let me hold on.
What's
hold on.
wrong with studying?
All right, don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Here's the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Alcatraz closed after 29 years of operation because the institution was too expensive to continue operating. An estimated $3 to $5 million was needed just for restoration and maintenance work to keep the prison open. That figure did not include the daily operating costs. Alcatraz was nearly 3 times more expensive to operate than any other federal prison. It is in the middle of a body of water.
What would it cost to build a new one? How many millions? I don't know, but I know we need more prisons. I know we need more space.
All right. It's also
I'm fine to study it. I don't have a problem with studying it.
It's also possible to say that this doesn't seem to make a lot of
It's
sense.
all right, Scott, to call him no idea. You know that,
Well,
right?
It's okay. Because
I mean,
I don't know that
I
even
don't know.
Trump
It doesn't make any
is all
sense.
that sold on this idea, to be honest.
Why not? I mean, really. You can't even contemplate it. You can't even think about it. Here's the problem you see with the left right now. Anything that Donald Trump says, anything, they're going to go bonkers over. I mean, the fact that he's trying to control the border, this actually used to be their platform. Do you guys remember when Barack Obama was, he actually rather infamously deported more people that were here in this country illegally than any of his predecessors. And you know what? He ran in part on this. I'm looking for a soundbite because I want to prove it to you. I want to show you exactly what he had to say about all of those people that were here illegally. And he had absolute intention of getting rid of them. This is the Democrat Party from not too long ago. It wasn't until Donald Trump showed up, and Donald Trump actually stole their agenda, if you think about it, right? A lot of the working class agenda that was framed around some of the, I'm not even going to say anti-immigration, but anti-illegal immigration that had been going on. I mean, why wouldn't you be for legal immigration? Unless, of course, you're trying to influence votes, unless you're trying to actually get votes, unless you're trying to actually gerrymander your way around how many representatives you have in Congress. And let's not kid ourselves. That's a lot of what this came back to, was it not? Absolutely. They were looking to have more people in certain populations in certain states in order to get more members of Congress. And they took it even further. And this is no longer conspiratorial because the New York Times reported on this. They wanted 800,000 non-citizens to actually be able to vote in New York elections. All right, I'm not seeing it here, but you know what? We can go back and look at the shorts feed anytime. Go check my shorts feed out here on YouTube because, I spoke too soon. I think we got it, ladies and gentlemen. Here he is. The left really doesn't want you to see this.
The Bush administration, has done nothing to control the problem that we have. We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders since George Bush took office. It has become an extraordinary problem. And the reason the American people are concerned is because they are seeing their own economic position slip away.
Wow. Interesting. So that was Barack Obama. You go back, you look at Hillary Clinton, you look at any of the Democrats. They used to point fingers at Bush and the Republicans and say, they just want cheap labor, etc. And then Donald Trump comes in 2016, goes down the escalator, talks about how we need a big red carpet for people that are going to come here legally that we want, but we want to get rid of the illegal immigration. And suddenly that's no-go territory. Just like, maybe we reopen Alcatraz. Rather than build a whole new one, why don't we retrofit one that we have? Won't that work? And suddenly they hate the idea because they hate everything that he's talking about.